Hello, everybody. I didn't do the music and I didn't do the intro. It was on for a second. It went by. So, anyway, how are you guys? I'm sorry I wasn't here last week or the week before. I need a break and a lot of crap went down, so I had to fix some stuff and, then I'm good. So, anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming. This is Tammy and this is my show. Um, why do I have two things playing? Okay. Yeah. All right. I was hearing my other channel. So anyway, at least I know it's on YouTube. So if you've never been here before, my name is Tammy and I'm an advocate and I've been an advocate for like 30 years or more. And I love advocating. And now what I really love to do is to teach parents how to navigate this nonsense they call special education. You know, the right for children with disabilities to have the same education or the right to as their non-disabled peers. Yes, that's what this is all about. So, I'd like to thank you all for coming. Um, Tonight is basically open mic night. You guys can ask me some questions and I will try to get you the information in real time. Okay, where you could take the information and you can actually go and do it the next day. You can actually implement it the next day, which is more than I can say for the school districts. They can't implement anything the same day or the next day. Okay, they can't. So anyway, I what this channel does is teaches you how to fight the good fight for your kid. You are your child's voice, and that's what this platform is all about. Giving your kid a voice, getting your kid the services that your kid needs in order to be a productive citizen as they get older. You know, a lot of people don't understand this, especially school districts. The purpose of school is to teach kids how to become productive citizens in their adult years. That's what it's all about, reading, writing, arithmetic. If you don't have that, you can't do much of anything, okay? But it still goes beyond that because it's about adult living skills. It's about advocating for yourself. It's about a lot of things that schools don't want to address. I don't know what their problem is. I don't know why they think they're getting all this money. Now they're getting what you call a yeah. That's what they're getting right now. You know why? Because karma's a bitch. That's why. So if you like the content in my channel, there's many ways you can help me. Okay. I don't ask for much. However, thanks to a couple of people that are constantly, a few people that are constantly on my site, Alma being one of them. She's my #1 fan. And a few others, I have been able to raise funds on this platform, which is so cool. Hi, Alma. How you doing? I'm trying to log into Facebook. Okay, no problem. And you can stay right where. Oh, I know why. Yeah, you don't need to go. Okay, so let me tell you how the many ways you can support my channel. One of them is called Stars, and it's on Facebook. So if you logged into Facebook to watch this video, there's going to be a little thing that pops up, and it says during this broadcast, you can support my page by sending stars, a digital gift that helps me earn money. So 1 star is 1 penny. Okay, so Facebook takes 30%. So if you give me $1 worth of if you buy $1 worth, then what that does is you pay $1.40. Okay, so you have to pay 40 cents extra. I get the dollar. Well, and Facebook gets 40 cents, but it helps my channel, and any little bit helps. Okay, this is hard. I mean, it takes me approximately 2 hours just to prepare for this, but then I got to go find the documents, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that I do in preparation for this, okay, that I have to make sure is on board when I hit the ground, okay, so I can get everything easily. The other way is please subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? It's free, guys. It's free. You hit the button, you hit subscribe, you hit the notification bell, okay? You hit the like, and then, hi, Barbara. Alma Barbara's here. She's your #1 fan, Barbara. You hit the notification bell, you hit the like, you hit subscribe, and then every time I go live, you get a notice, okay? And also make a comment after this video. Make a comment. There's also another way that's free. That's free, guys. Okay. Even following me on Facebook is free for this channel. Okay. So there's lots of ways. There's another way you can do it through, it's called Facebook PayPal, and I'll put that on there. And what you do is you can put any amount of money you want. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Every little bit helps. And so you put a little bit of money in there and then put out. Okay. So there's Facebook, there's stars, there's oh, buy me a coffee. I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. They're just learning how to make it out here in PA. I mean, for years, number one, they didn't even have a Dunkin' Donuts. I had to drive 30 minutes just to get a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and then 30 minutes back. You know, the coffee gone by the time I go home, right? So I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. They're finally learning how to make it here, right, like they do back home in Massachusetts. You know, the home of Dunkin' Donuts. So I have a thing called Buy Me a Coffee, and you click on that, and it doesn't matter what it, how much, again, how much it is. It doesn't matter. Okay, I have to pay for a lot of stuff to do this. I have to pay for this live stream. This is $25 a month. Okay, and then all the other stuff that I use in order to post this. Okay, so any little bit helps. I really appreciate it. I'm just looking at my notes to make sure that I did it all, and I did. So if you like the channel, please subscribe and do all that stuff I said before. I really appreciate it. And you guys don't understand how much I love this. I'm in pain right now because, you know, I'm in pain. Thank God you did not transmit last week. I was not home either. Yeah, I think it was you. Some of you guys said that the kids were home. So I really don't like to do it. If I find out that kids are on vacation, usually from state to state, it's like a week apart or so. I don't like to do it because you guys are busy. So I don't want to do it. And it's easier if I just wait a week or so. So that's what I did. I found out from somebody that there was a school vacation. So I didn't do it. But, and also, if you see my website, TammyJCreates.com, I'll be posting some stuff like this. Okay, the WWTD stuff is available on that website. I have hats. I have this. I'm going to be posting new stuff that I just made. Crochet, cotton, halter tops, the matching shorts, hats. They're just so cool. You're going to have to visit the site. And the next week it'll be up. I'm trying to do some summer stuff before. So, with all that being said, Alma, so you're going to be very happy to you. So I finished the complaint that I said I was going to write for you. It's all done. All I have to do now is attach the documents, and I'm going to send it to you. Okay. Now, in your complaint, what I did is took your information, and I cited them for all of the violations. Now, if you want, it was spring break. Okay, I thought so. You love the FAFO? Girl, and look what it says down here. Hashtag what would Tammy do? This is what Tammy gonna do. Okay. Anyway, today I had a question from someone, and they said, Tammy, what are you going to do? You know, now you don't have the feds. And I'm like, I don't care, because we still have the federal law. We don't have the feds per se, like the Department of Education or OSEP like we did. But let's face it. I mean, it was hard. It took a year and a half for OSEP to do an investigation on the stuff that I kept sending them. And that took a year. So first it took a year for them to do something about it. Then it took them a year and a half before they actually wrote and found Massachusetts in noncompliance. Okay, then they gave him 90 days. I will buy mine. Okay. All right. You just got to tell me what color. I got a lot of colors. and I bought these. These are Hanes V-neck t-shirts. This one's a large, and it fits me, so that's pretty good. It's a man's t-shirt. I like the V-necks. I don't know if everybody else does, but I like the V-necks. So if you want a V-neck, let me know. If you want a crew neck, let me know. But yeah, if you put your order in, I will get it out to you. You know how I am. I'm trying real hard to get out 2 orders right now. I'm not doing this stuff right, guys. You got to give me, you guys, I'll tell you what. If you order something for me and I don't get it out in a decent amount of time, like 5 days, you get extra. You get extra, because I don't like it that I'm late, and sometimes I get screwed up with time, and I have to wait. It's supposed to go out between 3 and 5 days. I usually wait for the money to get into my bank account. Then I send out the stuff. That takes between 3 and 5 days. Okay. Most of the time, I just learned how to put my stuff on my website that lets you guys know there's no more. Okay, so if you see it, there's no more. I might put that something out there, but it'll show you. It says limited edition, so there's only one. Okay, so if it says limited edition, that one's available. It'll tell you sold out if somebody buys it. Okay, so that's number 2. So anyway, so tonight is open mic night. So anything you guys want to ask me, go ahead. As far as that question that somebody asked me earlier today, here's my thing. I always rely on the federal laws. I don't care what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. That fool, and I don't care who likes it or not, but that fool is writing executive orders. The reason why is because he can't pass those bills through Congress. The quickest way for him to get it so that it's in there is for him to write executive orders. However, every time he writes one of those crazy executive orders, somebody files a lawsuit. As soon as they file a lawsuit, whatever he wrote stops dead in his tracks. Now, if it doesn't stop, then he's going to be in contempt of court. And his little lawyers are going to go to jail because the judges have had it up to here with him. Okay, so I still use, all of that said, I still use federal laws because he can't get rid of federal laws without filing a bill to get rid of it. You understand? In order to get rid of a federal law, Congress has to vote on it. Congress can't vote on their last names and come up right. So we're safe with that, okay? As long as we have federal law, we're good. Everything right now is allegedly put back on the states. That's okay with me because I'm still using the federal laws because there's no exemption from the states to not use federal law. They violate federal law just like they've been doing, then we can go after them, period. End of story, point blank, okay? Full stop. We can go after them. I have no doubt we can. And just so you guys know, come the midterms, there's a lot of people that are getting out of their office, and then we'll get the people that we need to make stuff happen. Okay, so I don't know what everybody was thinking about because the man told you what he was going to do, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do. So nobody should be surprised. Nobody should be upset. I'm the one that should be upset. The parents that want their services for their kids, they're the ones that should be upset. Now, the only people we got, really, we still have the federal laws, but the only people we got right now is the state's special ed department. That's it. Department of Education. We can go after them, though. We can. We can go after them. Don't matter what they say. I don't care what they do in D.C. because you can always keep kicking it up a notch, just like he does. Okay, when he doesn't like the answer, what does he do? He files a lawsuit. Filing a lawsuit in federal court is difficult, but it's not out of the question for you. Okay, you can do it. It's difficult. You're going to need some guidance. I know people. And it doesn't matter. Just file it anyway. You file it anyway. You get it in front of a judge. Now the judge is going to want to talk to you. 90% of the ding-dong lawyers that are working for the school, they've never been in federal court just like you. Federal court is a different animal. Okay, but when they violate federal laws, you don't go to the lower court. You go straight to federal court. I can show you how. It's hard, and it's a pain in the ass. But what else is new for us, right? So anyway, so Tammy, you know I don't care about the receiving. Of course you know. I'm going to punch you in your head. Stop it. My number one fan. Besides Barbara, of course. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. So, next week, there's a lot of people and their kids are going through transition. So, in some states, transition begins at 13, 14, 16. The federal law says it begins at 16. Okay? So, did you hear about the college student that is suing the U.S. Department of Education because she graduated from high school without knowing how to? Good! That's what everybody needs to do. Just because you're poor, okay, or you can't afford a lawyer does not mean you can't go to court. Good for her. She learned something, or somebody helped her. She was smart enough to know somebody helped her, okay? So anyway, good for her. Okay, that's what everybody needs to be doing. That's how you fight back. Okay, that's how you fight back. She might be able to, all she needs is evaluation to prove she can't read or write, or whatever it is she sued him for. One evaluation, clear it all up, neuropsych, by an independent person who knows what they're doing, who doesn't have any alliances with the school district. Yep. I'm gonna start telling you guys how I'm gonna start reacting to some of this stuff. The one thing these people don't like is to have their names out there for everybody to see. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you rule number 1. You don't talk about anybody or say anything bad, defamatory, unless you have documentation, unless you have receipts, okay, to back up your statement. You can't interpret it the way you want. It is when you make the statement. For instance, we can say that the school district didn't evaluate in all areas of suspected disability. We filed a complaint and we won. All of that we won stuff we got from the state, now we go and post it. Because we can name names. They are public. That's a public school. Guess what they are? They're ready. They're a matter of public record. They're ready. They're a matter of public record. The teachers that work there, yes, indeed. They work in a public institute. So anything they do, put their names out there. I'm going to show you how, because that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm sick of them. I'm fatted up to here with them. Okay? So what I'm going to do with Barbara, because everybody, there are people that are going through transition, and a lot of you guys don't understand, there's a whole new animal with transition. So what we're going to do with Barbara is, Barbara's going to talk about the transition that her son and her daughter have been going through in Massachusetts and all the shenanigans that's going on. And the reason, like I told Barbara, the reason why is that the goal is to teach you guys. Number 1, just because your kid with a disability turned a certain age, you're not done. Okay? If you're done, that's on you. You can do whatever you want with your kid, but for suffice it to say, 1, your kid can get services through the state. 2, there are laws that the state has to comply with and their providers have to comply with in every single state. Okay? There's money tied to your kid and the state agencies that provide the services to your kid. Therefore, your kid can get services. It's not under IDEA anymore. It's under the state insurance, Medicaid, and it's under the state agency. So what Barbara's going to do is we're going to tell you some stories about the crap that she's been going through. And it's horrendous. We just filed a Board of Medicine complaint against the doctor who decided, this is just a tidbit, who decided, argued with me because he thinks because he's a doctor, I'm afraid of him. And I think he's all of that in a bag of chips. Well, I reported his ass to the Board of Medicine. And I told the Board of Medicine that this Nimrod changed my client's medication. Changed it because some twit that works as the house manager at Road to Responsibility Pro Group Home called him up and said he wanted to change his medication. Now, I can say all of that because guess what I have? Receipts. I have the actual content, the contact, written contact information from the house manager directly to the doctor, and then the doctor responding to him in the same portal. Oh yeah, here you go. He changed his meds. You know what we don't know? Why? You know what we don't know? What was the purpose and who told you to? So the doctor comes back and the doctor said, because I accused him of violating HIPAA. He said, I didn't violate HIPAA. I said, yes, you did. Because that stupid ass group home is not a covered entity under HIPAA. Stupid. Go read HIPAA. This is what HIPAA says. In order for him to talk to anybody about her kid without consent, it has to be another doctor. It has to be an insurance company. That's a covered entity. Okay? A program someplace in Massachusetts that DDS licensed, and they don't give a rat's ass about what's going on. Wait, you guys wait. I'm going to show you pictures and everything. They're going to be so bad. I'm going to drop names like I ain't got no sense. I'm going to drop it like it's hot. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm going to start doing because I'm sick of people. Had it up to here, like I said, all set with the dumbness. Okay? So anyway, that's what's going down. Because what people need to understand is these people, the state agencies, after your kid turns 22, they ain't no better. Like I tell Barbara all the time. It's the same shit, different agency. Okay? Instead of it being, it's still about your kids' rights. It's still about the laws. It's just instead of the Department of Education in the public school, it's a stupid group home. Okay? And the Department of Developmental Disabilities or the Department of Mental Health. Okay? Or the doctors. I'd rather fight them than the school, to be honest. I would wait. Can't post comments to some destinations. I don't know what this is talking about. I just don't get it. Anywho, I messed around. What did I did this and screwed up some shit. So now I gotta go fix it after the show. But anyway, when streaming to a profile, viewer comments won't show up unless the stream is public. By default, it is friends only. Oh, okay. No, I gotta make it public. Follow this. Wait a minute, guys. I just gotta go in and make this stupid thing public. Oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. It's okay. It's my main page, so I gotta make sure I fix that next. But anyhow, okay. It's 1 minute it's 20 below. Next minute it's 82 degrees here. So anyway, I want your smarticles to know. Oh, I'm gonna be careful. I told you, I come when I'm talking about these people. Believe me when I tell you, I've already filed against them. So now this is thing when you transition is called HCBS, okay? And that's for your kid, for you to make a decision, okay? When you go into a state agency, you can make a decision whether you want your kid to live at home and get services and get self-directed care, it's called, or you want your kid to live in a group home, okay? So Barbara's got both. She's got a group home and she got a daughter living at home. So, but the DDS person, the area director where Barbara lives, she decided she's not going to do shit. She's going to slow walk all of it. Now, the reason why she slow walked it is because there are rules for H. It's called Home Community-Based Services. Okay, if you look it up, it's section 1915C. I will show you guys all of this because you're gonna want to know. Because as your kid gets up to 22, that's what you want to know about. Now, here's the thing: between the transition years while he's in high school, they're supposed to be helping your kid to get to where your kid needs to be so your kid can be as independent as possible. Let me tell you what they did to Barbara. They put her kid in a residential. They agreed to put her kid in a residential. We won that without going to hearing for 4 years. The stupid Pembroke Public School District spent $1 million. That school cost $250,000 a year per kid. You know what he came out learning what to do? Nothing. That's what he learned what to do. He can't change his clothes. He can't put on his shoes. He can't put on his underwear. He can't wash himself. He can't. The only thing he can do is eat. That's what he can do. That's what they taught him at the Evergreen Inc. School. We have the IEP. We have the documentation from the program he lives in. We have that. That proves he didn't learn Jack Dooley squat. Because the 22 place, the group home place, says he can't do nothing. He was in a private school that cost $250,000 a year and he can't do nothing. I mean, he's not in a coma. He couldn't learn any less unless he was in a coma. That's what they did. Hi, Wendy. That's what they did to him. Okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about. So it's going to be an ongoing series with Barbara. It's probably going to be on a Wednesday night, which Barbara, whatever it is, oh no, you shouldn't be surprised. But I want you to be prepared, okay? So like my mother says, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's what I want you guys to do. Well, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I always get it wrong because I'm old. But anyway, what I want you to do is I want you guys to pay attention because right now in public school, if your kid is at whatever your state law says about your kid being transitioned and all that they have to do, I'm going to show you guys all the stuff that they have to do because if you're, for instance, community participation, okay? So the school likes to say things like, well, this is how we do it. Well, typically, we do it like this. First and foremost, you definitely have to know the laws, okay? The laws specifically say that the school district can do it earlier than 16 years old. And if the state decides that it's earlier than 16 years old, then everything that applies at age 16 happens earlier. That's all. It's a different start date. The feds are good with that. You want to do this earlier? Great. Wonderful. But we're saying 16, but if you want to do it earlier to help the kid out, that's wonderful. Great, you do that. Okay? They have to do assessments, like the assessment of functional living skills. Most wonderful assessment you ever want to use. Okay, the most wonderfulest thing you ever want to use, because it gives you everything: school work, home, basic living skills at home, independent living skills. What the assessment does is it teaches. Okay, so this is what they did on one of my people. So the dumb BCBA, because she's stupid, she's dumb as lint, and in an effort to, kiss the school district's ass, basically, because that's what she did. She threw all of her skills out the window, or she graduated at the bottom of her class, and she barely passed the test. That's all I'm saying. AFLs, that's right. Okay? Because this dumb idiot, you see, the AFLs is built. I think I showed it to you guys last week. The AFLs is levels. Okay? So from 0, and the highest score on there could be a 4. Okay? Sometimes it's 0, 1, 2. Sometimes it's 0, 1, 2, 3. And sometimes it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, and they're supposed to take it like 4 times a year. Okay? Now, 4 times a year, you get to know what your kid's doing. Okay? If he's making any progress in the areas that have shown little or no activity whatsoever. So this dumb wench, okay, this is why I don't like BCBAs. There's a good portion. The only ones I liked, there's a couple in Massachusetts that I liked. I worked with them directly. There's a whole bunch of them I can't stand. I just can't, because they're so worried about a paycheck that they will take the science and throw it in the trash and make up a whole nother science. Just make it up. Okay. So what she did is, she asked a question, and so this is a cool book too, because I actually use the AFLs to write goals and objectives, okay? And it depends. It could be meals, a whole bunch of different things. What was the name? What was AFLs? Here. Assessment of Functional Living Skills. And then here you go, AFLs. Now, the cool thing about the AFLs is you guys can buy it. Each book is like $44, $44.95, $45, okay? In my last video, actually, one of my last videos, I put the link. You can actually buy the book, okay? And so anybody can buy it, because it's not like, it's based on what that person administering the test, or what the kid can do. Okay, so it has this criteria on how you score the person that's doing it for the one question that you ask them. Well, it's not scored as numbers of an average. Okay, it's scored as levels. Okay, so when this wench, I have no respect for her whatsoever. Just none. And I'm seriously thinking about sending the AFLs that she did and all that crap, and I'm sending it to the BACB, because she's stupid. She shouldn't even project herself as a BCBA. How dare you use those credentials? You are nothing but a piece of doo-doo. Just saying. And let me tell you something. Going to school to be a BCBA ain't no joke. It is no joke at all. Not only do you have to have a master's degree in either psychology, education, or behavior analysis, you have to have a master's degree. That means 6 years of college. 6 years. Okay? Then while you're doing that, it would be in your best interest to work for an agency or a public school system that has a BCBA on staff, so that you can do your practicum. Because you need 2,200 hours now as a practicum. 2,200 hours. Okay? Hey Siri, what is 2,200 divided by 40?
200 divided by 40 is 5.
That's not what I said. I hate her. She never does what I tell her to do. So it's 50. So that would be approximately 50 hours a week. Okay? To get your practicum done. Okay, so it's going to take you 2,200 hours. Then, now that helps you to go sit for the exam. The exam, they say, is so hard that if you miss it the first time, don't even bother going back. because you're going to miss it the second time, the third time. It's not like the law test. It's not like that. It's not like a real estate agent test. You keep getting worse and worse because it's behavior analysis, and there's so much in it. It's disgusting. Thank you, Amanda. Like it. So anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Major senior moment just then. So anyway, the woman that did this, because of the way she did it, she said, like, and you have sections. So it has mealtime, it'll have academic, applied academics, core academics. Okay. So let's say core academics and applied academics. There's 50 possible, in her mind, correct answers. She said out of 50, he got 13 right. Okay. Out of 45, out of 60, he got 45 right. That's not even close to the way it's supposed to be done. And she knows better. And you know what? I have an email from the author because Pembroke did this to Barbara. I hated them so much. That stupid woman, that idiot, BCBA, it was so bad. We had to have a hearing, and I won Barbara's hearing for a new. We had an independent person do the FBA on the kid using the AFOs. And the stupid wench, that dumb wench, didn't do any observations for him in the community. And the reason being is they would have had to admit that he has all kinds of serious issues in the community. And so his behavior support plan would be huge. They didn't want to make it huge. They didn't want to make it at all. They just wanted him not to go anywhere, where he's been sitting for almost 3 years now in a group home. He doesn't go anywhere. The only thing he's doing now is gaining weight. That's what he's doing. He just saw the doctor. Because they're stupid. They're stupid. That's right, Amanda. Yeah, that's right, Amanda. Alma. I'm sorry. My son got into the woods. Good. Don't sleep. Honey, let me tell you something. Just because your kid got into some special ed school that costs a lot of money, make no mistake. They're going to do the same thing to you they did to Barbara. You got to watch them like a hawk. You got to ask questions of them. Don't go, I got them in a private program. I used to think that putting a kid in a private program meant they're going to get services. No, it means that it's going to be very expensive babysitting services. That's what it was. $250,000 a year for babysitting. Yep. He didn't go nowhere. He stayed on campus at all times. And he had to have 2-on-1 at all times. And that's why DDS and the stupid group home don't want to do their job, because they don't want to spend the money that his insurance is paying for. Because they want us to pretend that they're funding everything. No, you're not, bitch. No, you're not. Because if he wasn't living on the campus and he could actually live at home, guess what? We'd be accessing those services through his insurance. Because you're stupid. You guys are getting a kickback for all intents and purposes. So, yeah. They're no good. They're no good. So don't think, yeah, Amanda, don't think just because your kid is in some private school. That's why I tell you guys, your kid is going to go to a private school. But here's the thing. They don't do shit. They don't do anything right at the private school. Sometimes, depending on your state, you can go look up those teachers and stuff. Sometimes they don't even have degrees. They don't have certification. I mean, they just started doing that like recently in Massachusetts, that teachers that work in private schools are certified and licensed. Yep. You got to be careful, people. You got to be careful. Don't get, oh God, I'm so happy. He's in a private school. Yeah. All right, good. You know how many private schools Barbara's son was in? The last one was residential. Do you know how many times I went to court? You know when? When he's about to turn 22. And guess who won? Because they don't do nothing right. Okay? The SPED director, Jessica Duncanson at the time, that was her last name then. And I got the case right here. I can read you verbatim her stupid statements. I can read it to you. I mean, I asked her a question. The hearing officer had to tell her that we already know what it says. We don't need you to read what it says. We need you to answer the question. Tammy didn't ask you to read the paperwork. She asked you to answer the question. So she would just read it, and I would just sit there and, Go ahead, stupid. Read everything you want. I don't care. Because you didn't answer the question. And then I go. Is that your answer? Yes, good. Let's move on. And then when I wrote my closing argument and I gave it to the hearing officer, I went through line by line in the transcripts and I brought the hearing officer's attention to what that dipstick said during the hearing. Okay? Because she's an idiot. Because she thinks because what she said goes and everything else is different. No, it's not. We got right on our side, guys. I know it doesn't look like we're winning, but let me tell you guys, ain't nothing in this United States of America ever just happened without a fight. It's always been a fight for everything we have. There was a fight for Social Security. It almost didn't go through. There was a fight for civil rights. There was a fight for our freedom for religion. There's a fight for everything in this country. That's what we do best. We fight, and we fight each other. So this to me is another walk, another day in the park. You just have to think about how. You can't be complacent. I know it's easy to just say, fuck it. I mean, and that's what you want to do. That's cool. But just remember, if your kid doesn't have pushback, that's right. If your kid, okay, let me put it to you another way. The more your child learns right now, the more independent your child's going to be when your child leaves the public school setting, okay? That means you're not going to be, he's not going to need you or she's not going to need you as much as if your kid didn't learn anything, okay? So everything you fight for, just a little bit, and your kid gets it, one more skill your kid has that he didn't have last year, okay? It's one more skill for him or her, to be a productive citizen in our country and to participate in the community where they live, okay? Isolating them is not nice. That's what they did a long time ago, back in the olden days, when they didn't know what to do with these kids, okay? We're in 2025. They know what to do. They just don't want to do it. The teachers that work in this field don't want to do it, okay? They don't want to do it. And I don't get it. There's a part of me that just like, what is going on in a teacher's brain that they don't want to educate all children? They only want to educate the ones that's easy. They don't want to educate the children that is going to have a difficult time. You know what? I said this before. If I was a teacher, I want that kid way in the back of the classroom that nobody's paying attention to. I asked the biology teacher what school grade level my son was, and she answered wrong. The district director tried to cover up her wrong. She answered wrong. What does that mean, wrong? What do you mean wrong? Okay. You have to understand the assholes that you're dealing with, okay? And the only way to deal with them, honest to God, you got to prepare for these meetings, okay? You got to know what question you want to ask. Okay, I'm going to show you something, okay? So first of all, I don't know if you guys know this, but there are kids that aren't going to school that are being getting their education virtually, okay? So now they come up on their 3-year annual review. Okay, so then the school has an epiphany and they say, you got to bring the kid in. Kid ain't been there all year. You got to bring the kid in to get assessed. I don't know what planet they're on when they say this stuff, but let me let you guys in on a little secret, okay? They got to be on something. The drugs they're taking is I don't care drug. That's what it is. That's why you can't care. You have to come prepared, okay? So when a teacher says some stupid shit to you, say, excuse you? Excuse you? Do you know? Okay, so I'm going to show you. First of all, just so we're clear, your kid can be evaluated via Zoom, okay? Virtually, okay? Here it is right here. It's called Q Global. All right, so let me go in. I'm going to do share. Present. You know, I feel like shit until I get on here, and then I'm all cool. It's amazing. My stomach was hurting me, and now it's not, and it's because of you guys. Okay? So, all right. So I want you guys to look at this. Okay. See what this is? Q Global. Scoring and reporting administration. Okay, you know what it is? When you purchase Q Global Assessments, an account will be automatically. Once you purchase it, we welcome you to instruct on how to activate your account. You know what this is for? These are all the assessments. All of these are assessments. When I say, you guys, assessments, what did I say? Technically sound. These are all technically sound. And if you click on them, it'll say, okay, here's, oh shoot, they got the bot 3. That's another thing. You got to make sure you have the updated version. Okay. So, motor response. This is what the bot 3 does. This is for OT and PT. It's one assessment, but it does both. Okay. 25 motor response booklets. This is what they get. Okay. You add to cart. Wait, I'm trying to find out where it says about scoring. Okay. What is Q Global? I gotta do it like this so you guys can see. Pearson Clinical. I just want to prove something to you guys, okay? So, because I know this is gonna come up. Pearson Clinical Q dash Global. Okay. Q Global. Shoot. I gotta do this. I gotta stop. And I gotta do this. 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 Shit. Okay. Pearson Clinical Q Global is a web-based system for administering, scoring, and reporting Pearson clinical assessments, offering flexible and convenience for professionals in areas like mental health and education. What is it? Is a secure and affordable platform that allows users to manage examinee information, generate scores, and produce reports from various Pearson assessments. How does it work? It's a web-based application, meaning it's accessible from any computer with an internet connection. See what I'm talking about? See? Alma says she answered 10th grade, but he is in the 6th grade level. Tell her, you say, I don't know what that means on your planet, on Earth 2. Here on Earth 1, my son shouldn't be in a 10th grade class. It's a violation of least restrictive environment. That's what you say, Alma. That's what we got him on. Okay? We got him on least restrictive environment. They can't put you, kid. Okay, let me put it this way. Let's say you went to China. And you're trying to buy stuff in China, walk around China. Do you speak Chinese? No. So because you went to China, does that mean you speak Chinese? No, it doesn't. Okay. So just because they put your kid in a 10th grade biology class does not mean your kid is in 10th grade. So how? Because if he has a 6th grade level, how is he accessing the general curriculum? Oops, another violation, denial of faith. So how are they modifying the content? See, these are the questions you ask the silly. Oh, really? So when they tell you guys stuff like this, your kid is in the 10th, he's in a 10th grade class. Really? My kid can't read above a 4th and 5th grade level. So how is he in the 10th grade biology class with a 4th grade biology book? Because I don't understand how he's accessing. And she'll say, well, no, I don't know. You have to explain. Start explaining to me what you're talking about, because what you're doing is you're denying faith. You slapped my kid in this classroom because you're just trying to push him through the system. That's why you did it. My son can't do any of that work, and you freaking know it. The only way they could do it is modify the work. Okay? And they have to be careful because they can't modify it so much that it's watered down. They can't do that. Because he's not doing anything. Because when he goes to get tested by a neuropsychologist, they're going to find out he can't do none of that work. As soon as we get that information, we file a complaint, he can't do none of that work. And that's how the geometry teacher is screwed. I don't know what planet that. Wait till you see the complaint. You're going to die, Alma. You're going to die. I broke it down for the Department of Education. Broke it down. Now, the only piece I have to put in that complaint is I have to let the wombats know at the Department of Education, I'm watching you. Here's what OSEP said your job is. Federal laws have not changed. We only have a stupid president in office who does executive orders. He did not get rid of IDEA. That's what I'm putting in the complaint. Yeah. So anyway. There's certain things, when you're asking the teachers, you have to weigh it out. You guys have to weigh it out. You have to say, so my kid's in a 10th grade biology class. Really? What's he getting, a B? Is he getting a B? Here's the problem with him getting a B in biology. Was he going to apply for college? He's not getting in. If he's in the 10th grade, he's not getting in. Understand? He's not getting in any college because these people are stupid. And you know what? You're going to be the next person that files against them in court and sues them for an education your kid never got. It's all a denial of faith. Okay, I got to explain something. Okay. Here's what I want to tell you guys. I'm serious. I feel so much better. I can't even imagine. I was like ready to go to sleep. So here's what I want to tell you guys. I forgot. I keep having brain farts. I don't know what's wrong with me. When you take a kid with a disability and you test them, okay, so we test the kid and we find out that the kid has a 56 IQ or a 74 IQ. Average IQ is like somewhere between 95 and 115. That's average. That's an average IQ. Okay. On the WISC-5, that's the average IQ. So if they take your kid and your kid has a 40, a 56, a 74 IQ, what that WISC-5 did is it also told you where your kid was in broad math, broad reading, comprehension, and there was something else. There's like 4 major ones, okay? Tells you what grade level your kid's in. So just because your kid is 16, okay? Just because your kid is 16 does not mean your kid goes into a 10th grade biology class. Can't. If you put your kid who's at a 5th grade reading and comprehension level, and they take that kid and they put him, this actually happened to me, so I know what you're talking about. They put your kid in a 10th grade biology class. What book is your kid learning from? Because it can't be the 10th grade biology book. How can it? How can it be the 10th grade biology book? Your kid can't read and comprehend. Not only could your kid not read and comprehend, if your kid can't read and comprehend, guess what else your kid can't do? Execute the directions or instructions if read. That means your kid can't do the work. So who's doing the work for your kid then? If your kid, because they're getting B's, getting A's, getting C's. So who's doing the work? Because I can prove it ain't your kid. I can prove it. Because all we have to do is take that test and give it to your kid again. Now, your kid should pass the same test. He already took it. Give him the test again, all by himself. He's not going to pass. They lied. And that's what they do. Because they just want to pass him through the system. You know why? Let me tell you what that's going to do to our country. There's a reason why Lincoln passed the law for public education. And if you guys go look this stuff up, if you guys go look it up, you'll see what it says. The reason why Lincoln did that is so that we could have people on juries who could use, what is it? I always say it. Critical thinking skills. Because going to school gives you the tools to weigh the pros and cons of something. That's what going to school is all about. You can't serve a jury. You can't serve on a jury. If you have a 56 IQ, you can't, because you can't participate in that discussion. You can't understand. A person with a 56 IQ cannot understand what's going on during the court proceedings. How? They have a 56 IQ. Okay? So they're lying. They put your kid in a classroom with a bunch of, they did it to one of my closest friends. She was a 70 IQ. So what if it is at a kindergarten level? They can't put your kid in the grade that's corresponds to the kid's age. They can't. The kid got a D. I told you. I told you, honey. Got a D. Because he can't do the work. That's denial of faith. Good. All of the classes they put your kids in that are 4 or 5 grades higher than the reading and comprehension levels that your kid has been tested to be at, that's a denial of faith. Understand that's a denial of faith? They can't put your kid in the 10th grade class. They can't. Now, they could give your kid, if you don't want your kid, in a classroom. I mean, I don't. It's case by case, okay. But here's what I'm thinking: you have a kid. I guess kids with autism is the only way I can do this. Okay, you have a child that is autistic. Okay, that child has social skills issues. They don't know how to interact with their peers. When they're in a classroom with their peers, there's a lot of bullying going on. They don't know how to protect themselves. They are not reading, writing, and doing math at the other kids' levels. So picture this, your kid, that kid, is in a regular ed classroom. I don't care what classroom it is. Let's say it's math. How do you think that kid feels? Knowing that you don't think that kid knows he's going to fail that class? That he can't do the work that's being put in front of him? The kid is not in a coma. The kid is alive and breathing and does have some skills. The kid can understand that he can't do the damn work. He knows the difference between it being wrong and being right. The kid knows that. So how do you think that's going to make that kid feel? Not good. You're going to have a kid with a lot of psychological issues. Okay? A lot. Okay? So my thing is, the school district, they can put your kid in another classroom with his peers, with kids who are like him. You see my badass guinea pig in the background? I tried, look at her. She's staring right at Brandy. She's staring right at That is the baddest guinea pig I ever bought in my life. She's been trying to climb out of the cage. Anyway. She's so bad. She runs around. She makes all kinds of noises. I couldn't even do a video one day. I had to shut it off. I had to do it again. Sophia actually asked me, no one but her can read. Recently, she wants to help him. What? Actually asked me, no one but her can read. I don't know what that means, honey. I'm missing something. So she's the only one that can read in the classroom? There you go. I believe her. It's sad. But, so she is up here. They're down here. And luckily, she's a nice kid. Okay? She's a good, no one in her class can read but her. No one, okay, I get it. So she knows she's up here. Here's the thing though, can she comprehend what she's reading? Can she follow the instructions on what to do without any help? And I'm telling you, I'm saying that only because when I became an advocate, I thought if you knew how to read, you automatically knew how you could comprehend. That's not the way it works at all. Okay. So you have to think about where your kid is at. Okay, to best serve your kid. And you have to tell the school, I want to see more programs. Do you have any programs for my kid? And if they say no, you say, well, here's what I know. Putting my kid in the 10th grade when he's only at a 5th grade level, giving him a 10th grade book, and you don't understand why he got a D? That's what you tell the teachers. You don't understand why he got a D? I mean, Jesus Christ, it does not take a rocket scientist to figure this out. He got a D. So go get a typical 5th grade class kid and go put him in 10th grade biology class. That's what they did. Tell them, just go get a typical kid, random, typical 5th grader, and put him in it, and tell them do the work. Go to class, do the work. You think they could do it? Okay. They can't. So it's up to us to learn how to formulate the questions to stop them dead in their tracks. That stupid biology teacher would have had my 7.5 so someplace in her brain. Okay? I would have made her feel this big, and I'm telling you, I'm good. I like making them cry. It's fun. Because if you're going to sit there and tell me that stupid shit, then you got a kid? What grade is your kid in? That's what you tell the teacher. Is your kid in the first grade? Well, what the hell? Why don't we just skip first, second, third, and fourth and just put these kids in the 7th grade? Because this is what they're doing to your kid. And the only person that's finding out is you. When I say you, I mean all parents. Okay? People, I'm telling you, stick with me, and I will show you how my goal. My goal is to teach you guys how to think differently. Okay? You can't trust those wombats after school. You can't. I got to make a t-shirt that says wombats. I keep forgetting. And I'm going to put a little wombat animal right on it. And then I'm going to say hashtag what would Jimmy do? How's that? How's that, Alma? So anyway, that's a good one. I like that. The way to beat them is to make them feel small and stupid. And you could do it very nicely. And I've done it. It's like that time I went to a team meeting. Okay, I went to the team meeting, kid you not. And the kid had a language-based learning disability. Literally, he was in the 6th grade. He was failing everything. Okay, failing everything. And we're at the very beginning of the IEP development. You explained it in good. That's my goal. So we've been fighting with these wombats now for a minute. And I don't like none of them. I just don't. And so we go to the meeting, and I'm sitting there. I got the kid's file. The kid's file is this deep, sitting right next to me. And I got my pad of paper on my laptop. So we're at the accommodations part of the IEP development. So I told him, yes, clear and precise directions. 1, 2, 3. Teacher said, what? Excuse me? I take exception to that. I said, you take exception to what? That I requested that you put in the accommodations that your teachers make sure they give clear and precise instructions? He said, yes. I said, why is that a problem for you? He said, because we all do it. I said, oh, really? Really? Slid it to him. It was one of the pages from the kids' homework assignment, classwork assignment. It's 2 paragraphs on the paper. This is with the instruction. Highlight the most important parts of the story. My client had 2 highlighters, 2 different colors. He took one highlighter, highlighted almost the entire thing, and then he took one and he put a couple of different colors in it. With the second one, highlighted a couple other words. Yeah. And I looked at him, and everybody sitting at the table, and they saw the paper because bright, because highlighters. Right? I said, is that what you call clearing? Is that what you guys are doing with this kid? This one right here. Yeah, that's what you do. You think that's clear and concise? Do you think he got it? Or did he just want a color? The SPED director said, we're going to put clear and concise. Thank you. Thank you very much. They got to argue about everything. And the reason why is because they're territorial. Okay? Because they think that classroom for them is a business. And the kiddies inside of it, all the little kiddos, yeah, those kiddos are their products. Here's what I'm going to tell you about their little products, okay? If that were true, every single one of those teachers would have gone bankrupt. The business would have been shut down because the product that's coming out of that classroom, and the product is they have to know how to read, write, and do math. And if by the end of the year, the kids have not met that goal precisely, then that business will be shut down. That's why I don't like them. And I don't care nothing about, there are some great teachers out there. I mean, really good. I've met them. But they are so few and far between. And then the ones that are really good, you know, everything they do on a QT. And so you can't bring them out because now they're not going to do nothing. They got busted. They could lose their job because that's what these no good, they do to these teachers. So everything, you got to do everything on a QT. But you have to remember, even if the teacher's doing it on a QT, if it ain't helping your kid directly, don't. Just tell on them. Just say what they're doing. That's why I tell you guys all the time, you get everything in writing. You put everything in writing. Yesterday we had a meeting, we had a conversation, and this is what you said. Remember, if you put everything they say during the thing, if you're talking to them, you go into a meeting prepared. There are certain questions you want answers to. You write them down on your paper, okay? You write them down. And then you leave space enough on that paper so whatever they say for an answer, you put, like if you ask for something, they said no. If you ask, well, is he getting a 5th grade biology book or is he learning from a 10th grade biology book? And then you say, you do know my son is reading and writing and reading and comprehending at a 5th grade level. So are you giving him a 5th grade biology class book or is he getting a 10th grade book and you're wondering why he got a D? I don't understand why you are wondering why he got a D. You know what that's called, you tell her? Denial of faith. Violations of least restrictive environment. Because what you could have done is you could have gave him a 5th grade biology book. That's what you could have done. What you could have done is modified the curriculum, but you chose not to. See, you did that on purpose because you wanted to see my son fail because that brings you some kind of joy. The next thing you know, the teacher's crying. Good. I don't care. Let's move on. Let's proceed. That's right. That's how you talk to them because they think that because they're sitting over there and they're teachers. See, back in the day, a teacher was something. You know, a teacher was a person with credentials and, with integrity and character. And when you went into teaching, that was a noble profession. Not anymore. It's just a way to be lazy now, okay? It's just a way to be lazy. There are teachers that bust their ass, okay? They bust their ass. Most of the public school system don't have teachers like that. If they do, they have one. And a lot of them are in special ed, they quit. They go to regular ed. They get more money as special ed teachers, but the nonsense they got to go through as special ed teachers, it ain't even worth it. And it's sad because if you're a good teacher and you let them people push you out, I'm telling you, you ain't no good either. You don't let people push you out. You fight back. You fight. That's what we were built on. That's what our nation was built on, a fight. You want to fight? Bring it. Let's do this. Let's do this dance. Okay? But that's how you talk to the school district when they tell you something stupid. You go there with your kid's report card. Okay? You go there and you have questions that you want to ask them about the report card. You definitely, if you know what your kid's level is in math, okay, for instance, in order to get to algebra or division or geometry, a kid has to have the foundational math skills. Do you understand? They have to know how to multiply, subtract, add, and divide. Not single digits, double digits, triple digits, whole lot of digits. Okay? Any kind of way. That's why it's a ladder. You know, you go higher. You don't always stay at first grade. You can't say, oh, the kid can't do none of this, but we're going to put him in 10th grade math class. Crazy? What is wrong with you people? You're supposed to be educators. That's why I get frustrated when I go to team meetings. Because I can't believe I'm dealing with people who are this stupid. And they want me. Yes, Alma, I know, right? They want me to think they're smart. I don't think you're smart. I think you're stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Wait a minute, stupid. Because you would throw your credentials, your integrity, all under the bus to kiss the hiney of the special ed director. Because you don't want to lose your job. Lose your job? How are you going to lose your job? What are they going to do to you? Do you know it's almost like an act of Congress to get rid of a teacher? To say she's such a bad teacher, she got to go? What? Oh, they're going to lay you off because they don't have any money for you? Here's the other thing I want you people to know. These teachers, because of their education, do you know they can get a job doing just about anything in any field? Because if they got a master's degree in education, just general education, they can work anywhere, in any company. Any company, at a high level too. If you have a master's degree, okay, in education. If they have a specialization in education, a specialization in special education, they even make more money in a different field, like me. See where it says MS psychology and a specialization in applied behavior analysis. That means if I was out there in the field, I could make major loot. Major loot. Because I have a specialization I didn't know that. I had to go to school longer to get that. My girl Leanne had to tell me. She said, what are you talking about? She said, you could have been, if you just wanted your master's degree in psychology, you could have been out a long time ago. You did that specialization. You went like 2 full years, almost 2.5 years. And I wasn't done when I got my degree. I still had to keep going. I had to sit for the exam, all of that nonsense. So these special ed teachers, they don't have to stay there. They're lazy. I don't care what. If they're in the school and they're doing this to your kids, that means they're lazy. Hey, girl, how's my baby brother? How's my baby brother? How's the dog? Dog okay? Getting better, hopefully. Love you. I'm glad you popped in. So anyway, so I'm showing no mercy. I'm done. I'm all set with the stupid. If they want to go to school and do that to people's kids, then you know what? Hey, game on. That's the way I look at it. And I will show you guys how to ask the damn questions. The first question is, when the stupid school says, well, we're going to keep him in the 10th grade. They told me my kid was in the 7th grade. And they were going to promote him. He had all D's and F's on his report card. D's and F's everywhere. My son's problem was he was ADD and I didn't know. He was in the 7th grade when I finally found out. But they were going to promote him to the 8th grade. I skipped my happy ass right down to the school district and I said, you're not going to promote him. He failed every goddamn class. I said, do you know how you get a D? You do one assignment. You won and pass it. You get a D on your report card. You know how you get an F? Don't do shit. You get an F. If you don't do shit, you get an F. There's all zeros straight across. If you get a D, you got a whole bunch of zeros, 1 grade. You got a 90 on one thing. You get a D. It changes the average. It changes the average. That's how you get a D and an F. Or for kids with disabilities, you get a D and an F. You get a D because the teachers helped you do the work to the point where they should have put their name on it. Just saying. I actually had a teacher and I told the mother, you need to send that over to that stupid teacher and tell her, I don't understand why your name's not on this. Or the tutor. I won compensatory services for one of my clients. I do believe that you help us more making videos that advocate. Yeah, well, it's way more fun. I have a bigger audience. I can give you guys, no matter what I do, you guys are going to come out of this with something. You're going to learn something. You're going to walk away and know something, even if it's little, even if it's one thing. I mean, because usually I'm on for 2 hours. But you will walk away with something. I know you will. I do it with my clients when I was representing Barbara. Barbara knows a lot. She don't think she does. Barbara don't want to hear it. Barbara don't like it when I tell her about herself. Okay, but I don't care. I don't care. Because she should have been reading my shit a long time ago. Barbara don't read nothing. She just lets me do it. She says, you know. You're supposed to know. What if something happens to me? Now what are you going to do? Now you got to rely on these wombats. See? That's what I'm telling you. See? But yeah, it's way better because I can get in more detail. And I know you're listening to me. I know you're listening to me. What I'm going to start doing, though, is figuring out a way how to give away some service like what I'm going to do with Alma. Alma has been, like I said, my #1 fan. And I am real good at writing a complaint. It's just real easy for me. I'm very detailed. And they're going to tell you that, too, Alma. They're going to tell you, well, this was very detailed. Did somebody else do it? You tell them, listen, you're on a need-to-know basis. What does that have to do? Because they're trying to figure out if you have a lawyer that wrote that. And let me tell you something. If they say something like that to you, say, you do realize that it's against the law in every single state for a lawyer to write something like this, a complaint, and not put their name on it. They have to say they're a lawyer. Okay? So if they say anything going forward, guys, if I write something for you guys and the school calls you up and says, who wrote this? Did you have an attorney? You say, no, wait. First of all, I'm insulted because you're saying I'm stupid and I can't write something like that. I mean, technology is wonderful. Wait till you read it. You're going to die. It's just, I don't understand. How dare you insult me like that? Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. Yes, that is what you're saying. You're saying that I'm so stupid that I need to go hire a lawyer. Yeah, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. You're stupid, though. That's what you tell me. You're stupid for even saying. I take exception to that. And I'm highly insulted. And how dare you? That's what you tell the state. The state's going to say who wrote this for you. And you're going to say, I did, damn it. Whose name is on it? And you tell them, are you insinuating that a lawyer did this? A lawyer can't write up something and not put their name on it. Because if you find out a lawyer did it, you can go report them to the board about it, because that's a violation of their licensing requirements. It's a violation. It's a law. Lawyers have to identify themselves. Period. But see, they don't even know that. They're so dumb. You know how many schools thought I was an attorney? It was so much fun telling them I'm not an attorney. You couldn't pay me to be an attorney. I don't like attorneys. I knew a few. Personally, I knew a couple that I liked. The rest, not so much. There's a whole bunch of them sitting at the Bureau of Special Education Appeals. I cannot stand any one of them. They're no good. They're liars. I mean, history will show. Do not trust a lawyer, I'm telling you. Don't do it. You'll be better off doing this yourself. And it's way less expensive. Do you think that the lawyers, okay, so the lawyer's going to take care of it. If that's what you're doing, then whatever you get out of it, knock your socks off. But I'm telling you, you ain't going to get much. You're just not going to get much, okay? So, first of all, so like I said, okay? I wonder where that is. Oh, okay. Oh, well, I don't know where it went now. Okay, so like I said, if they're trying to test your kid, and you don't want the kid in school, you can, my face is hot. You can, they can do it virtually. Don't let them tell you you can't. And there's nothing in the law that says the only way the kid can be evaluated is in the school building. That's horseshit. It's not true. Tell them to show you the law. Tell them to show you the law. Because you're not saying you don't want your kid evaluated. You're saying your kid hasn't been in school if your kid is home tutored. Because here's another thing, guys. Schools like to tell you guys that your kid can't be home tutored because your kid has special needs. That's again horseshit. Okay? Because the law specifically says the kid can receive special education in the home, in the hospital, in other settings. Okay? So, they're full of shit. Okay? So now, there was something I wanted to show you guys. Wait, so if I suspect that the lawyer writes something that they send me, I can go, yeah, yes you can. And they didn't sign it, by all means. Say, who wrote this? I'm not signing shit. I want to know who wrote this. So usually, the lawyers respond to complaints. But they're stupid. The lawyers don't know the laws. They don't know them. The little bit that they know, they twist and turn into a pretzel. Okay? The reason why I like complaints is because when you're in a hearing, you can use case law. But here's the thing. Case law isn't a law. It's used to, so if somebody went to court and they won on an issue of a kid being denied FAPE because the kid was at a 5th grade level and they put him in a 10th grade biology class, and so the judge came back and said the parents win, that's a precedent. That's case law in a hearing or in court. Okay? That's called case law. That is not the law. In order to get a law, you have to go through Congress. You have to go through Congress. You have to pass a bill, and both the House and the Senate have to vote on it. That's a law. That's how it works. Okay? So sometimes I use case law to support my position with the state because they're stupid. I use other documents to support my case with the state. OSEP letters. I use case law sometimes if I file against the state. Okay? Filing against the school district, I get them on denial of FAPE. I get them on the federal laws, and I use the evidence that I have. And then I put in there, my new thing is I let them know all about that general supervisory duties they have with the school districts. And then now I'm going to cite what they did in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. I knew you were going to say that it's setting. Yes, right. That's all case law does. And as you can plainly see by the Chief Justices of the United States, they overturned Roe versus Wade. Now, no matter what your position is, I get it. The problem is that for over 50 years, they have used Roe versus Wade as a precedent, which means it basically was the law of the land because everybody agreed to it. Now, the problem is, because now we got cray-crays in the Chief Justices, so they have overturned that, even though during their confirmation to be a Chief Justice of the United States, they swore up and down that they were not going to go against precedent. Precedent for Roe versus Wade was that it was the woman's right. Okay? Whether you believe it to be wrong or that's not the issue. It's not the issue. The issue is when they were confirmed, they said they would not overturn Roe versus Wade because of the precedent that's before them. That's what Chief Justices do. They use all the cases on that issue that came before, and they use that to make their decisions. They use the law too, but they also rely on case law. When you file a complaint, I don't use case law because the idiots at the Department of Education, I don't even know how they spell their name. I just found out one of the morons that was working on my case that the state got busted for, her dumbass is making $90,000 a year screwing up cases. When I got that thing in January, I sent them a nice email. Maybe next week I'll show you the email that I sent them. I told you so email. That's what I did. I sent it to the commissioner. I sent it to everybody that had anything to do with my two cases. All of them. And I cussed their asses out. Hi, Steph. How you doing? Let me see. That's my niece, guys. Hey, girl. I'm so glad you came. Now go over there and hit the button. Go follow me and go to YouTube. And you guys, I just want to tell you, you know it's free to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, right? Special Ed Answers is free. Hit the notification bell, put a comment, hit the like button. It's free. You guys are doing it because I went from, I think it was 269 and now I'm up to 284. I need 500 and I can do Snapchat and I can do videos where I can create a, like a club, join a club. Oh yeah. And only the club members can get access to those videos. Oh yeah. I like it. 90K? Yes. I hated her. I cussed her out the most because she was just no good. No matter what I put on paper, no matter how I proved my case, she did this. I've been watching your YouTube videos because I start School for Human Services. Good. That's going to be a good job. You're going to like it. You got to be careful, girl. Working for state agencies, yeah. You can't go in there charging in like a bull. You got to kind of lay back and see what's going on because you get fired quick because they don't like people like us. That's why I never work for a state agency. That's why, because you can't. They take all the wind right out of your sails. You think you're doing something good and some boss comes around and says, no, you can't do that. We don't like that. And there's no reason for them not to do stuff. I've never understood why a teacher wouldn't want to teach. I never understood why a special ed director wouldn't want to try to help a kid. Why? Just tell me why you're in this damn field. I just want to know. I'm just curious. Because it's not because you want to help these kids, because you ain't doing nothing. You put a kid in the 10th grade who's not reading above a 5th grade level. Have you lost your mind? And how does that make sense to you? How? Screw 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Just start off at 7th grade when the kids go to school. They're 5 years old, put them in 7th grade. Exactly. That's my girl. My family, okay. In my family, guys, we have a lot of strong women. I mean, we're referred to as the Barrows women in our family. There's like 6 of us. And then we have nieces and stuff, and they're just as bad because they're mamas. So, yeah, we don't take too much shit. Not at all. I question everybody. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care what title you have. I don't care what your credentials are. Hell, if Neil deGrasse Tyson was sitting in front of me, I'd ask him, how do you know all that stuff you know? Huh? But see, I'd be more enamored of him. And I would say, you know a lot of shit, dude. How do you born like that? What? See, I fall. Those kind of people they're sexy. A man is sexy to me. Smart men are sexy. I don't care what you look like. You're sexy because you're smart. Okay, I have major respect. These people that work for these schools, I talk to them like they're pieces of shit because they are to me. All of them are like that. They don't want to help kids. I don't know what their goal is. I don't know. I don't know how they sleep at night. I don't know why it makes them feel good to hurt a child when it would be so much easier. But that's where we live now. Shut up, Alma. That's where we live now. Alma, meet Stephanie. Stephanie, that's Alma. She's my number one fan. But anyway, I don't understand it, and it seriously goes up my ass sideways. I can't. So anyway, what was I gonna say? So what else do we want to talk about today? I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to tell you guys. I'm getting to the point now where I'm almost at an hour and a half, and then I'm shutting it down because I got nothing. You guys have any questions you want to ask me about anything? Like I said, you have to be proactive, okay? If your kid's in a private school, you got to check on them, okay? I mean, my client, I'm not kidding. He went to Evergreen, what's the name of that school? Evergreen Inc. in Massachusetts. Go look it up. The school costs $250,000 a year. A year. And he knows nothing. You know what? I'm gonna tell you how easy it is to educate this population. Okay, so he has a very low IQ. However, he's so fucking adorable. Excuse my French. He's so adorable. So anyway, he's a grown ass man. So Barbara was having a problem because he has to go get PT outside of his group home, and so Barbara said that he was having a very hard time focusing to do the therapy with the woman, and the woman was getting frustrated. So Barbara called me up. I said, this is what I want you to do. When you bring him, I want you to have a pocket full of baggies, different treats in your pocket, different treats. I said, then go. When he starts to act up, you say, one treat. If you do that, I'll give you a treat, and he'll do it. Do you know Barbara told me he did it? It's working. The PT couldn't believe it. It's an intervention. It's not. You know he has a BC at the group home. Allegedly he has a BT, and the guy that's the CEO, Chris White, of the group home. Do you know he's a BCBA? And the only thing they can focus in on is getting carte blanche consent so that Barbara doesn't know anything that's going on. So he doesn't have, since he's been there, he's got 3 extra doctors. I'm telling you, you guys are going to be shocked at the stuff that Barbara tells you. And all of it is not to scare you, but it's to put you on your toes. It's just like public school. We don't know what's going on with these kids in school when they're in there. We don't know what these teachers are doing. I don't trust nobody. And if I could put a camera on my kid, I would do it. Tell me right now. I would do it just like my kid would have a ring walking around. So anytime he comes to class, I get big ring. Not that I want to do it. I just want to know if there is a regulation to file a DP. What's a DP? I don't know. To the State Department. The police? Well, I don't know what DP is. I don't know what you mean by DP. Due process? Oh, it depends. Okay, because I had a problem with that. You can't file for a DP with the State Department of Education. You have to file a complaint against them for not doing their job. And then, but I don't think it'll fly. Well, listen, exactly. Okay, so in Massachusetts, right? Usually if you see, I've never done it where I went straight to filing a hearing against the Department of Education. I've never done it. Because here's the thing. When you go after the Department of Education, what you have to prove is that the Department of Education didn't provide FAPE. And the only way you can prove that they did something wrong is through filing a complaint against the school district and their findings. See, it doesn't mean it can't be done, but you got to have grounds. Okay, so what would be the grounds that you would file against the state for? Okay, now it's difficult because there are laws, but how are you going to prove they didn't do it unless you use a complaint regarding the school district? Now in Massachusetts, according to their laws, once PRS, okay, problem resolution, whatever it is, systems, once they decide what went on, so let's say they didn't find nothing wrong with the school district did, you disagree, you can file against the school district, not the state. In Massachusetts, you can't file against the state. You can go straight to court. Is what you can do. You can sue the state by going straight to court. Okay, and now you can use the complaint in Massachusetts. So if you have a problem with the PRS thing, right, their findings, you can't sue. You can't sue. I'm not saying this right. You can't sue the Department of Education just out of clear blue. The only way you can sue them is to get them on not doing their job as far as monitoring the school district for all of the violations, and that means that came from a complaint findings. So what you do is you take the findings, you skip your happy ass and go file federal court against the state. That's how you get them. You can't file, yeah. You can't file. That's what they do in Massachusetts. Now, in New York, it's a two-tier system. So in New York, it's the same thing, because the only way a parent can go after the state is to prove that the state didn't do their job. And the only way to prove that the state didn't do their job is for the state to do an investigation on your allegations because you have to understand how this works. The feds oversee the state oversees the school districts. Okay? To get to the state Department of Education, you have to file a complaint against the school district, wait to get the findings, and if to dispute the findings, then you can go straight to court. In most states, you don't have, there's only one way you can sue the school. Once you have the complaint findings, and that's what's going to end up happening, by the way. Parents, I'm going to tell you to do it. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to do it with you. We're going to show how to do it. We're going to file complaints against the Department of Ed, against the, and you can do it another way too. What you do is you file a complaint against the school district. This is how I would do it. You file a complaint against the school district. The findings come back that, oh no, they didn't do nothing wrong. So then you file a complaint against the state because they violated a whole bunch of laws. They ignored a whole bunch of shit. They didn't do their job. So then they come back and they say, oh no, we did everything right. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, in your complaint, you cited all kind of laws. You have all kind of evidence. You have everything. Now, you file in federal court. You got the emails. You got all your evidence. Now you file against the state. And you say, this is what they didn't do. And you're good. And see, you might not win. You might not win. But one thing's for sure. It's like a bully. A bully keeps picking on you, picking on you, picking on you. The bully's bigger than you. You know the bully's going to kick your ass. Whether you fight him or not, the bully can kick your ass. So what? I'm not going to let you keep hitting me. I'm going to hit back. I'm going to land a few. I'm going to tag you real good. I'm going to aim for as much, that as hard as I can hit you to make you feel me. And when you fight a bully, if you win or lose, you win. Because now the bully knows you don't give a shit. Okay? Now you got that. Fed supervises state, supposedly. Yes, it is supposed. Well, like I said, you know what pissed me off about what came through Massachusetts? Let me tell you what came through. So on January 16th, 2025, OSEP came back and found Massachusetts, it was so bad. Massachusetts has to change at least two state laws about independent evaluations. They've been making the parents pay partial. You know what the law says? Free. If the school district agrees, they pay for the fucking thing. Massachusetts been making people fill out sliding scale, all kinds of crazy nonsense. I didn't make my clients do it. I said, screw that. Don't give them all your personal information. Go down and use your insurance and go get the neuropsych done. And then if you win and it looks good, you can make them pay for it. Massachusetts, I've been an advocate for 30 years. That law has been on the book for at least 30 years. And they were wrong. They should have never done it. They were making parents, they were doing a sliding scale. So the parents would pay this much and the school district paid this much. Then they had a law that said the evaluations that you wanted had a price tag, automatic price tag. And we don't know where they came up with this. A neuropsychological evaluation was $3,000 when I was advocating a few years. Now it's like up to $6,000. In Massachusetts, when it was $3,000, Massachusetts said, "Oh no, we can't do it for more. You can't do it for more than $1,000." Do you know how many neuropsychs I had done, and I begged the neuropsychologist to do it for $1,000? They did a $3,000 neuropsych for $1,000. They hated when I went and got it done because their insurance paid for it, and because I kept giving them so many cases, they were making good money. They were making so much money, they told me I had to stop doing it. I was sending them too many clients. That is why I love your videos. I'm glad. I want it to be that way. But we also have to live in reality. We in an ideal world, there would be none of this would be going on. This would be a thing. Okay? I wouldn't be here. Okay? Stephanie, I hope I told you thank you. I don't know if I did, but thank you, honey. In an ideal world, okay, none of this would be. All the kids would be just perfect. There would be no issues. There would be none of this that's going on, okay? But because we don't live there, we have to protect our kids as best we can. And the school, the departments of education, the districts, the school districts, and a good part of their employees are so condescending and patronizing. You know, I get it. And that's why I am the way I am. I don't care what I say. I tell them, I have no respect for you. You know that? I don't respect you. Then when they're talking, my face shows my utter contempt. You can see it on my face while they're talking. I've actually had people tell me, stop making that face. And I had to tell them, I'll make any face I want. You paying me? Soon as I get my W-2 copy of it that I signed so I could work for you, because you owe me a lot of money. I'm going to need all my paychecks. Then they shut up and they leave me alone. Because I say things nobody says out loud. You might think it, but I say it out loud. That's right. You say it out loud. Don't let it stick in your brain behind your tongue and your mouth and your lips are closed like this. Hey, let it come out. Let it come out. Like I said, when your kid is reading at a 5th grade level and your kid is 16 years old, and you put him and you put him in a 10th grade classroom of anything, if it's reading and comprehension, you put the kid in a 10th grade class and the kid is at a 5th grade level, that's denial of faith. 100. The kid cannot access the general curriculum. That's what special education is for. That's why you got to dig. That's why you got to dig. That's why you got to dig. They're nuts. I don't like anybody. I just, on that side of the case, I don't like them. I don't like them. And I don't care that they don't like me. In fact, here's what I say. Because, I got a new doctor. I love my doctor. She's so freaking cool. She drops the F-bomb like nobody's business. I love her to death. But we were talking, and she said, yeah, I don't care. People hate me too. Because I was telling her what I do for a living. And I said, yeah, they all hate me, and I don't care. She said, neither do I. She said, you know what it is? You know what I say? Haters are motivators. You know that's going on a t-shirt, right? Haters are motivators. Oh, yeah. That's what we're doing. That's what I have a special page on my, I just changed my name to my company, TammyJCreates.com, and it's all on for this stuff. WWTD, FAFO, WWTD, all of this, okay? So I'm going to put the wombat t-shirt's going to go over there, the little wombat. freaking love it. So anyway, so yeah, so you have to understand the words you have to use and how you have to say it. Now, here's the thing: whenever you go to a team meeting, you'll know you asked a hard question or you hit the nail on the head when you hear crickets. Are the FAFO t-shirts on the website? Not yet. Not yet. I just made some, and I got to take pictures. It's been so busy, I can't even see straight. Oh, Amanda. Yeah, I'm hoping it goes out tomorrow. I got to make your daughter's bracelets. One of them is done. I got to make her. It's so funny. You know what, Amanda? I was thinking about something. My niece, her name is Sophia. Is it my name? Yeah, my niece's name is Sophia. Your daughter's name is Sophia, and I had another client, and her name was Sophia too. Her name is Sophia. It's so cool. I love that name too. It's like so sexy and pretty, and reminds me of Sophia Loren. But yeah. So as soon as my stuff goes on my website, I should make one of these, huh? To say FAFO. That would be cool. That would be really cool. See, that says achieve. And what I would do, wait a minute, it says achieve. So what I would do is I could make FAFO and WWTD, hashtag WWTD. I could put that on a bracelet too. I have so many ideas. So anyway, so all you guys really have to do is call them on the chat. Here's what I want you to understand. If it's coming in your head, ask the question. It's not a stupid question. That's the other thing they want you to think, that anything you have to ask is stupid. They don't want you to ask the question. I used to do it all the time. What does that mean? This is how I say it. I don't break that down. I'm a layman. I don't work in your field. I'm not a speech and language pathologist. What exactly does that mean, what you just said? I don't understand. Can he spell cat? Does he know what his vowels are? I mean, you got to think of whatever that person is saying. Like, what does it take to learn how to read? So does your kid know the vowels? Does he know consonants? Does he know the difference between a vowel and a consonant? Okay. Does he know, I mean, how many, like for instance, 5th grade should have a huge repertoire of words. So how many sight words does your kid know? And all of that can be tested. So if they don't answer the question, you say, you do know I can get my kid tested and I can get these questions answered by a neuropsychologist or a speech and language pathologist or whoever, a reading specialist. I can get the answers to these questions, and then you're going to look stupid. Stupid. Is that what you want? You want to look stupid? You got 2 seconds to answer my question. So you just got to think about, so how do you learn how to read? What do you need to know? You need to know sounds of the letters. I've had kids that the school district said the kid could read, and I'd look at them and say, really? Does the kid know the alphabet? Oh, yeah. She knows all the sounds of the letters in the alphabet? Well, no. But you just said she knows how to read. Because first you got to know the letters. Backwards, forwards, up and down, small, lower, upper. You have to know all the letters and all of the sounds they make. You have to know the difference between a consonant and a vowel. You have to know, in a vowel, you have to know long and short sounds. So how can my kid read them? How many sight words does my kid know? And they'll say some astronomical number. Really? So what are you doing? You're giving my kid, you're making my kid read stuff with only those words on it? Those are the same words she knew last year. So what you're telling me is my kid made no progress since last year in the number of sight words that she has. Why doesn't she know more? Why doesn't my kid know how to spell cat, bat, sat? Why? And if she can spell, so if you stand up and you dictate the word cat, can she write it by herself? That's how small and minute you have to go with your kids, okay? Reading takes a lot of shit. You got to know, think about what you had to learn as a kid before you went to the next level. Can your kid actually write them? Can your kid formulate sentences? How many sentences? How many words in a sentence can your kid formulate? Does she know a noun from a verb? See what I'm talking about? You get it? These are the questions you ask the wombats when you're at a team meeting with your kid. Okay? That's what you do. Can my kid read simple instructions? What's a simple instruction to you? So if I give my kid an instruction, I can tell, now do that. Read that. Does kid you read instructions? Well, no. So my kid, by the time you get done asking all these questions, you're going to find out what they said about your kid was, she can't read. She can't read. Putting your kid in a second grade class, guess what the second graders know how to do? That. They know the difference between a vowel and a consonant. They know how to spell certain words at a second grade level. They know how to write words. They know how to write simple sentences. And all you have to do is look it up. It's out there, guys. It's out there. Goals have to be mastered at the end of the year. No, that's 85% is not mastered. That's a violation. That means when you see that, this happened to Amanda. We nailed her school district so bad they'd shut the hell up. They got in big trouble because they came back to the team and I said, what the hell is this? What does this mean? 60%. That means the kid didn't master the thing, right? Well, yeah, but you know, she's emerging my ass. You had a whole year to help this kid master this skill, and you didn't do it. You know what that means to me? That means that the IEP was not reasonably calculated to address my kid's unique needs. What part of that sentence don't you understand? Should be 100%, because here's the thing. When are you going to teach her the other 15%? Because she can't move on to the next goal because she hasn't mastered this. So how are you going to tweak that to make it make sense? Or are you going to just pretend to move on and write a goal that she hasn't mastered this, but you're going to write her a new goal as if she mastered it? Is that what we're doing? They're going to get mad. I'm telling you right now, they're going to get mad because you're asking questions that make sense. And then you tell them, you know what? I tell you what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm filing a complaint because this IEP right here proves the IEP was not reasonably calculated to address my kid's unique needs. 2, you denied FAPE because my kid didn't access the IEP, didn't access the general curriculum. And let me see. So there's the IEP is not reasonably calculated. She didn't access the general curriculum. What's another one? That's pretty much it. That's good enough. But I know there's more. I just can't think right now. But yeah. So the fact that your daughter, so now they owe you compensatory services. Those 2 laws means, and that IEP that says 85%, that means that they owe you compensatory services for that whole goal. Because she didn't meet it. Any goal that says any stupid shit like that. Massachusetts knows better than to write crazy whack job stuff like that. Because they know there's crazy advocates like me. And they know that if they write that, they're going to be in trouble. But see, in a lot of states, they don't have advocates like me. I come hard. I'm swinging. And I'm asking the hard questions. Where did you graduate from? This makes sense to you? Is this okay for you? Well, you just don't understand. Oh, I understand. I understand a whole bunch. You don't want me to understand. I understand this. This IEP is not worth the paper it's written on. Okay, and if she didn't meet 85%, I could guarantee you it's probably even lower than that. I bet it's 50%, if not the entire thing. Because like for instance, if the IEP says that your daughter will learn the alphabet A through F, okay, she will put together, she will learn 5 words beginning with the letter F, okay? She will be able to put 3 sentences together using the word F in each sentence. Can she do that? If she can, then show me the paperwork, because you know what? I never saw that. And here's another thing you do with the IEP, guys. You put the damn IEP that you want all of your kids' work. You want it copied, and you want it every week. You want a copy of all of the work your kid allegedly did in that classroom. If you do not receive the work, that means it wasn't done. That's what you said. Because they have to do, that's their job. They have to write. Okay? So if there's no work showing that your kid was learning how to do the ABCs, 1, 2, 3, so what was the speech and language pathologist doing? Or the OT? Because the OT and the speech and language pathologist, 9 times out of 10, if your kid is having difficulty reading and comprehending, chances are your kid is having problems in speech, language, not so much speech, but language, and OT. Because now you have to do another. Well, since my daughter can't write this stuff, then I'm gonna, because I don't understand why she can't. Do you understand what you can buy? And I'm telling you right now, don't do it. Do not buy this stuff for your kid to do at home and then go to school so she can act like she learned this stuff from it, because they're gonna take all the credit you did. They're gonna say they did it. Okay, they're gonna say they did. Don't do your kids' homework for them. Help them. Help is, Mom, do I carry or do I, it's very simple. When you're helping, it's almost like they ask you a question and you answer them as you're walking by them. That's helping. If you have to sit down with your kid and explain how to subtract double-digit numbers, how to do the concept of it, that means your kid doesn't know the concept. That means your kid doesn't know how to subtract. And therefore your kid's not going to know how to divide. How's he going to do division? If he doesn't know, because here's how you do it. You do adding, subtracting. Then you do multiplying, the adding and subtracting. And then you go up to division. There's a hierarchy. If your kid can't add and subtract, or can only do single-digit numbers, chances are your kid's not going to be able to do multiplication or division. Because for division, you need all of that. For multiplication, depending on if it's double digits, you have to use the concept in the breakdown. Is adding and subtracting involved. The more numbers you have, So ask the questions. Don't be afraid. Prepare for your meetings. When you're talking to these wombats, you either put it in writing and ask the question. Now here's another trick. When you're asking these ding-dongs questions, don't get technical. You ask them very simple questions that should deserve a simple answer. Then when you don't get the simple answer and they're beating around the bush, you're going to know your kid can't do that thing. So you ask a simple question. How many letters in the alphabet does my daughter have? How many letters has my daughter mastered? Okay, then you kick it up a notch. So now you know how many she mastered. Okay. Can my daughter say the alphabet? Yes. Okay, wonderful. Can my daughter write all of the letters in the alphabet? Does my daughter know all of the sounds of each letter in the alphabet? Daughter's in 2nd grade. Daughter's in 2nd grade. Okay? And the IEP says she already knows this shit. The placement where your kid is proves that your daughter already knows this shit. Right? Your daughter's in the 2nd grade because your daughter knows this shit. So now your daughter's in the 2nd grade, and guess what your daughter's having? Behaviors. I wonder why. Is it because everybody's doing their work better? That kid, your kid. Your kid's not doing the work. Why? Because let me tell you what your kid's doing. Your kid doesn't want everybody to know that your kid can't do the work. So guess what she's doing? Your kid is disrupting the classroom so she can get thrown out by the teacher. Because guess what the teacher does all the time? Throws the kid out. So now the kid doesn't have to do the work, does she? Now you get a little note from the goddamn dumb teacher. And you have to tell the teacher, let me ask you a question. Why was my kid doing that? I want an FBA. And I want to know why my kid's doing that in classroom. What is the reason? Because I know what the answer is. You tell her, I know what the answer is. You put my kid in, and as soon as you do the FBA, and they say, oh, we didn't see that. That's bullshit. You did see. And then you said, well, good. Now I'm going to go get a BCBA, and I'm going to have them come in the classroom, and I'm going to have them do this. And by the way, guys, 34 CFR 300.310 is the law, federal law for observation. If you want somebody to go observe your kid in classroom, they have to let you. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. They have to let you. If they don't, file a complaint. File a complaint. They wouldn't let you do it. That's how you get them. Every time they do something, I don't care if it's this big, file a complaint. They'll hate it. And the smaller your complaints, the easier it is for the wombats to do it. Because even though you have a small issue, the evidence is huge. You got all this paper. You got the IEP, you got the evaluations, you got the notes and emails from the teacher saying your daughter can't do none of this stuff. That's how you get them. That's how you get them. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. So anyway, it's 10 of 10. I need to stop. And let me see. Congress, Jasmine Crockett, that's right, is fighting for the uniquely able. See what I'm talking about? We have to look through a different lens now. They're forcing us. They're forcing us to look at stuff from a different perspective. You see, I've always looked at it from a different perspective. So this is easy for me to adapt to. I had a client tell me, "You're very happy about all of these changes." I said, "'Cause I knew it was coming and I prepared myself. And yes, it's going to be hard." I said, "But I knew this was coming. I told you guys this was going to happen." But see, the federal law doesn't change unless Congress signs a bill, unless some ding-dong in Congress writes a bill that everybody votes on. If it's not a bill, I don't care if that schmuckhead files an executive order that we all have to live underground. That doesn't mean we're going. Shit. Crazy. Ain't nobody going underground. We're going to be right here so he could see us. I don't care. I love this country. I really do. I don't know how I would live in another country without all of these rights that I have in this country. That some wombat is trying to take everything away. And so we could go all the way back to the 1950s where men were in charge. You know what happens when men are in charge? No. It's not good. Sorry, guys. Not all of you are good. Okay? And I can't wait. Elon Musk is going to... What he doesn't know is everybody before him has lost their money, have lost their minds, have lost their licenses to practice law, have been imprisoned, and he thinks because he's a billionaire, it's going to skip over him. Tesla. That's all I'm going to say. Tesla. He's all upset because nobody likes his shit. No, you're trying to take stuff away from us. We don't like that. Stop it. Stop it right now. Anyway, I love you guys. I will see you next week. I'm trying to get myself on a schedule. I'm trying to do them as much as possible because, you know, when I do them, I did notice that there's a big spike and it comes down, it goes back up, and it comes down every time I do a video. So I'm trying to get on a thing. Okay, trying real hard. I did pretty good last month, so I'm gonna see if I can do it once a week. I won 4 times this month. I think I did 3 last month. It was either 3 or 2. I think I did 3. So, and you're welcome. And Alma, you're gonna get an email from me with all of the stuff, and then I want you to take it. I want you to get the application, and I want you to fill it out, and I want you to send in the complaint. It's gonna have everything in there. You're just gonna have to add the list, okay? Yep. Next time we're gonna talk about Barbara's shit. Transition. It's gonna be about transitioning and what she went through. I'm gonna try to control her, but it's hard. Barbara's bad. I told her if she says anything, she'd be, I gotta cut her off. I'm gonna hit the button. Well, Barbara's done for tonight. So anyway, I will see you guys next week. For sure, we will be doing transitioning. So if you have any questions about transitioning from the age that your kid is supposed to do it to and past 22, let me know. If you want to find out about certain programs for adults with disabilities, you let me know because I got it. I got you. Okay, I got that too. All right. I will see you guys next week. You have a great time. Remember, guys, help a girl out. Support my channel if you like the content. Subscribe on my YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. Hit the like button. Share. On my Facebook page, buy some stars. Do all of that good jolly stuff. Buy me a cup of coffee. Girls, I love coffee. Buy me a cup of coffee. I'll put the links there. Okay? See you next week, guys. Bye. Love ya. Kisses. Mwah.